Good morning, folks, and thanks for joining us today on our Let's Talk Career series. For those just following us for the first time, giving you a little bit of info on what the series is about. We interview various folks in the community and talk to them about their personal career journey. So how they got to where they are now, their education, the steps they took, and various things that brought them to where they are. It's a very personal and relaxed conversation that we have, and we hope today that you'll get a little insight on our guest today, Audie McCarthy. Thank you, Audie, for joining us today.
My pleasure.
And yeah, we're going to talk to Audie about her career path and her journey to where she is, and I hope you enjoy. So I guess I usually start out, Audie, with a question about your first job, like your first job maybe that kind of led you on, not necessarily the path at where you are now, but gave you some insight to to start your journey, I guess, on your career.
Okay, so that goes back a long way, Catherine. My first job after university was with Bell Canada.
Mm-hmm.
I started downtown Hamilton as an entry-level clerk. So that really gave me a little bit of insight into the fact that I didn't want to stay in that position for very long. So I was very fortunate to be promoted very shortly after starting there and went into a role as a service representative. So equivalent to what a call center position would be right now.
Okay.
Lots of experience with customers, which I loved.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout there, I just had various opportunities within Bell. Landed in an instructional design position, which I really enjoyed, and then went on from there to doing more coaching and more training, facilitation, as well as instructional design, which led me to run my own business, which led me to Mohawk College Enterprises.
Interesting. What was your business, if you don't mind me asking?
My business was called the Mark Group. That's named after my children, Marley and Derek. And it was coaching and training, mostly leadership, but also customer service. So very similar to what I do today. I did it all back then.
Yeah.
I ran a business for 10 years and it was very rewarding. And then again, developed into this position today. So it was all.
Oh, that's awesome. So did you go to school for like many of the tools that you're using now? Did you?
It's an interesting question because I graduated from McMaster with a sociology degree and multiple courses in psychology.
Okay.
So I always said both those disciplines have helped me a lot in my career.
Yeah.
Whether they led specifically to what I'm doing now or not, they certainly helped me with understanding people, improving myself, and building relationships. Throughout my career at Bell, though, I had lots of exposure to lots of professional development, and some of that, when I was in the training role, was certainly professional training courses on how to design, how to do training needs analysis, how to manage small groups, and how to facilitate. So definitely some professional development that has helped me along the way.
That's awesome. And now you're working with Mohawk College?
It's Mohawk College Enterprise. We are the third-party subsidiary of the college. So we are owned by Mohawk, but we operate as a separate entity, which allows us to react faster to client needs. We focus more on corporate than we do on students.
Okay. So what does your role entail? Like, what does a day in your life look like?
Very busy, which is always a good thing. So again, our main focus is helping people develop their own skills. So we do leadership training. We also do some technical training as well, some health and community services training. So my job is really to lead my team and to help them, help their customers. So I still do a lot though of coaching myself. With clients. I do some executive coaching with some of our clients. The odd time I like to facilitate still, but mostly it's, again, leading my people, helping them continue to develop their skill sets, working with clients. Every day is a little bit different, so I do a lot of speaking as well. And of course, the financial, right? When you're in the position of CEO, you've got to keep your eye on the financials. So that's
Mhm.
part of my job as well, is managing the finances.
Hmm. And what is a typical client for you? Like who would that be? Is it
Our,
students or is it more businesses?
Definitely businesses,
Mhm.
medium to large organizations. We go across Ontario and are hoping to go across Canada very shortly with some of our programs. We do a lot of work with municipalities as well. So, and again, right across Canada from, sorry, not Canada yet, right across Ontario, from Windsor right through to North Bay, Sault Ste. Marie.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's
And,
a broad range.
and what would you say is the best asset you have that makes you good at what you do?
What is our, sorry, the best?
Your best asset that makes you good at what you do.
I think it would have to be relationship building.
Mhm.
That's something that somewhat comes natural to me, but also has been a lot of practice and a lot of development along the way. And I think it's really about making connections, keeping connections, staying in touch with people, and really showing that genuine interest in somebody else. So
Mhm.
even when we're working with clients, you know, it's not about the sales, it's about what's the client need and how can we help support, and whether that ends in a contract or not is really secondary. You know, it's really developing those relationships and understanding people and their challenges and where they're coming from. So I would say that would be definitely one of my strengths and something that I absolutely love to do.
Hmm. And you've been doing that for how long? How long have you been doing this job?
This job, I'm in my 10th year.
Wow.
I ran my business for 10 years before that. So I've been people business a long time.
Yeah. And how many employees, I guess, do you have under you?
Right now we have about 7. I say about 7 because some are part-time. So
Mhm.
business development officers, marketing, financial, and of course training support. We also have a roster of about 25 to 30 subcontract facilitators that we use to do actually, you know, facilitate the training with our clients.
Interesting. And how has COVID affected what you're doing right now?
It affected us tremendously. Uh, Back to last April, we went from, you know, a revenue of here to here, in
Mm.
you know, in a very, very short time frame. So so we didn't panic. You know, what we did basically was took that time to reach out to our clients and tell them not to worry about the contracts that we had with them. And we just said, you know, figure out what you need to do in your businesses. Know that we're here to help support you. Know that we're not going to hold you to anything. We'll work through all of this together. So we spent probably the first 5 to 6 weeks after everything shut down doing that. And then we started to look at our offers. Everything we did up to that point was face-to-face.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So we had to learn to do virtual. You know, we had to learn to do Zoom. So it was a steep learning curve, but my team really got behind it. And again, we reached out to clients and said, let's do this together. You know, we offered a few complimentary webinars, sessions, virtual learning sessions, so that we could practice as well as they could still learn. And it's worked out really well. Like, we are so fortunate with our customer base. They've stuck with us. We've been gained new clients. And again, I think it goes back to that relationship building and, you know, not pushing them, but helping them is really the key.
Yeah, I believe that your networking is based on the relationships that you build. It doesn't grow unless you take care of them and care. That's amazing. So if anybody was thinking about like getting into a role like you're in, what tips and strategies would you recommend to somebody who was thinking about that?
Well, I think if anyone's interested in sort of the learning and development field, first of all, I'm happy to talk to anyone. Like to have a short, you know, conversation, 20-minute call, whatever. I'm happy to talk to anyone about getting into this field or what it's like. And I think secondly, it's, you know, you have to love to learn yourself in order to in order to either design or facilitate. It takes a lot of focus and it takes a lot of energy. So say if you're not a lifelong learner, this probably isn't the field for you because continuing, even after all these years, I'm always looking for opportunities to learn, whether that's reading current books, whether that's joining different webinars or sessions myself. So I would say, you have to, learn, you have to love it in order to teach it.
Good advice. Anything else that you would like to share?
I don't think so. I think, again, just to re-emphasize the continuous learning aspect. I think a lot of us have learned a lot in the past year. What has happened. And, once you get into it, it's not that scary. So I would just encourage people to continue that. Are starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully things will return to whatever that normal looks like in the future. And I would just encourage people to continue to build relationships, to continue to work on themselves and continue to learn. And I think that's probably the best advice I could give people. Yeah,
it's great advice. And then I'm seeing a huge resiliency in folks and managing this virtual world that we've have to envelop and take on. So it's different. It's not easy for everyone, and not everybody is able. We're working on it. We're still learning. We're still working, and hopefully, if this is our normal, we find a way to manage it and be well and take care of our friends and our family and the people we know in the community and do it together.
Absolutely. And I know, and I know that's an important piece of what has happened over the last year is finding different ways to reach out to people. People continue to do that as well. And sometimes I think that as leaders, we're always thinking 3, 6, 12 months in advance. And in some ways, for us, the crisis is over. We've got our plan in place. We've rejigged our businesses. We're on the right path. And sometimes we forget that not everybody's there. So I think that's an important thought process as well, is to remember not everybody is where you're at. Take that step back and make sure everybody's okay.
The mountain is lonely if you're up there on your own.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, well, thank you so much for sharing with me today, Audie. It was really nice seeing you virtually, and I'll watch for your social media because I know you're on there regularly, and I will put your information on the Zoom recording, and if anybody wants to reach out and has more questions, I'll let them know that you're accessible.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Catherine.
Take care. Thanks, Audie.
You too. Bye-bye.